James. And yeah, I think what Martin said is very true. Of the top four does seem quite solidified. I don't want to underestimate though FaZe jumping 5 places in this as well. Now, whether or not they can replicate, that's another ordeal because I think we've been a little bit um disenchanted with their performance of this tournament. It was very middle of the road, and we were kept expecting, oh well, it's still FaZe, but they hadn't come online. Now, in that previous game, they did, but they'd have to do this every game and then some. This would have to be a monumental performance. And hey, they've done it before, but I feel like this lobby is looking, as said, like that top four is really where you want to be looking.
Agreed. And even when we were speaking in the last one about Liquid's performance and how they got to this point, I don't think in any way, shape, or form, all right, Northern Lights and T have not had the best run of it, but we can't still look past their accolades of what they've done this year. We still look at Northern Lights. They won the first charity opener, then came in third within PCS1. The Tornado Energy stayed consistent of a back-to-back second place. So, all right, granted, things haven't gone well more recently. At the start of the year, these two teams were still firing on all cylinders. They are still a scary prospect. And honestly, it's really hard to call at this moment in time. It comes down to consistency, dropping the ball like we saw initially with DA. You kind of touched on it, Lauren, so that the desk as well. If you're going to go up against Team Liquid, or even if you land there, Team Liquid sees one knock come out of it, Tornado Energy turns and faces. It's not only 3 points, but it's DA. Let's murder them. Let's get them out early. Liquid for them, well, that's just not only 3 points, but it's a jump on the leaderboard. But to go back to what you mentioned, Lauren, like, that is huge. Yes, FaZe might be out of the runnings here. 52 points is a monumental amount to make up at this point, especially when other teams are doing well. Northern Lights coming first, blah, 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 Tornado Energy and everyone else. It's a huge, huge amount to make up. It's going to be a very big task, but still, 5 places from one game, it shows you what's possible, and it shows you that there's still a menace to be dealt with on this map.
They always will be. I think anyone who truly would underestimate them simply hasn't seen enough PUBG in the past. I think that's the biggest thing. Now, whether or not they can shake up that top four, yet to be seen. That's where we put the biggest question mark, I feel. And for someone like Northern Lights to be able to deliver very end game, I was very impressed with what I saw. I absolutely love to see that. Keeping the head in the right place is really, really good. I mean, I was a bit worried when I see them on a lower-ish kill game. When I don't see them having that 5-6 kills coming in towards that end circle, maybe even a little more, but they were able to play it perfectly. And not many teams can. I think keeping composure and having experience in the end circle can make for a very different end game. And bear in mind, they were against some good teams. You had, Tornado Energy in there, for example. Now, for them, they suffered a little bit off the back of having TSM just north of them in that previous game, of course. That did make it a little bit trickier for them to find easy way forwards, and they became the kind of attention point of the circle for a fair amount of time. However, let's look at Liquid's rotation. We're looking sub 4 minutes, about right for them. Heading on through, probably wanting to try and thread that needle. It's going to be quite a treacherous run depending on which way they go. They can go, if they go directly polar north as they were, they'd go past, San Martin way. Hacienda, which would be TSM, ETG, a lot of teams coming in from the west, which would bode poorly. So it looks like they've opted for a more southern route across, or kind of heading east, but going, in a little bit of a safer way forward. I don't mind that at all. I'd rather see Liquid taking a little bit of a cautious rotation, but having the time to do so, as they did leave sub 4 minutes.
A treacherous run could be the story of this game initially. It would be much more easy to explain if the map was up and... Oh, lo and behold, thank you very much, observation team. So from Torre Moada, I kind of run a line straight down through El Azhar and then to the edge of the coastline. Straight away there, you probably knock out about 40% of the map. You've got a little bit of water in play. Campo Militar to Tierra Bronca, in my opinion, kind of knock them out at this stage of the game. But most importantly, you have limited, or at least less, points of entry. I mean, you don't have anywhere to enter on the east. You have only a small quarter of percentage to enter it on the southern side. There is opportunity to accidentally beat people on rotation, but more importantly, to be gate-kept here. For these teams that like to play edge, someone like the Northern Lights could capitalize on this. They could take a crossroad, a junction. They could create a roadblock there is so many opportunities to die on entry to the circle for the teams that come in a little bit later. I fear for FaZe Clan. I fear for DA. If TE and Northern Lights are going to be set up not too far from one another, that's a junction where you're going to be hearing shots, where you're going to be hearing action, where you're going to be, drawing your attention to and maybe stopping other teams come through. Like FaZe, if they want to dive bomb through San Martin, be my guest, but it's a risky play. And if Northern Lights see FaZe Clan is out there on the outskirts, they'll shoot into them, they'll keep them at bay, and then they're going to have to re-rotate. Like, this circle in itself, while I know there's a lot of landing play, initially to get to that middle area, because you're going to anticipate it coming more towards the southwest area, maybe even northwest. Need to head north if you're going to be Maxi, just to get out of that one and not to die initially. But this could be quite treacherous for a lot of teams that do enter late game. This will pay off, more importantly, is the overall story I'm going to get for people who like to play Edge.
I tend to agree with you. I would say the one benefit, if you want to be extraordinarily safe, is you can use that northwestern side. I'm sure most teams will be aware, with the plane path being as it is, most teams wouldn't have had to go to the backup drops that would have taken them towards the northwest. So someone like FaZe could simply go all the way up north and probably have a very easy access point. However, it would put them playing far from center point. So let's look at that center. Let's look where some of these teams have gone to. DA is still on the move, so I am wondering how they fare once they get into whichever desired position they want to be in. Liquid have got a decent amount of territory, quite spread out, but a good position to be holding. Ents, quite nice as well. Bystanders, ETG, and Shift W, all in quite a strong position. If you're more considering the southern portion, if you're looking towards the north, okay, TSM, Tornado Energy, not bad either. It is quite compact early on though, Rich.
It is. In my mind, there's only one real task. Once the circle does lock, once it moves, the one real thing you have to keep in the back of your mind, which is what I would assume is why Liquid's kind of lingering there and why they're so fanned out in a 2-1 split, is Minas Generalis. You have those 3 peaks. That's inaccessible terrain. That's where the circle is absolutely not going to go. But it does play a factor down the line in the fact that if the circle's still in, it's going to pull away from it. So somewhere down the line, if it's still there, the circle will eventually move away. It's not going to be there when we get to the end game. And it's something that you just always have to have in the back of your mind when you have this type of circle. One side you have the 3 peaks in, and then on the other side you have basically from Tomirada all the way down the coastline. Like, it is limited amount of landing play, and I think getting a good position now and staying your feet predominantly for a circle of this type is going to pay off dividends towards the late game. Again, we don't know. It could be bouncing all over the place. We could have hard shifts over towards the west for all we know and get some kind of water treatment ending. Who in the world knows? But it would be exceptionally rare. It would be hard to get. It would be hard to be able to kind of predict that in any way, shape, or form. Funnily enough, water treatment, I think, is where FaZe is just on the verges of looking towards. There's a couple of plateaus over there. So far, Maxi has not really had it any better. He goes from one side of Pink Pony to the other and gets found instantly. So whether or not they were tracking is a different question altogether. You are going to get those moments over this side where people just play unorthodox and kind of do what they want and play a public match, to be fair. Aye. Circle will update in about 10 seconds, and I'm very intrigued to see what happens here. We'd anticipate some kind of western side, but where, the north or south, is the main question.
Yeah, I'm looking at FaZe as well. The game very close towards Tornado. Wow, that is very far east. Very far east for this circle. That's still water in play. And a lot of inaccessible terrain in the northeast side. What on earth? This is going to be a bloodbath, Rich. That western side is vile. FaZe look like they want to rotate, but teams aren't in their vehicles yet, so they could get caught up in this rotation. They could be getting caught in a very bad spot here. Tornado, they just got into theirs. Northern Lights have not yet, though, so there could be some shots coming their way, and they are not far away. Already Perfectic's going to put through a few, but Fuzzface isn't too afraid to maybe challenge us for a second. No, he's going to continue forward. Maybe considering the rotations are more important than a 1-point pickup. So for them, they continue in here. Spyro going to open up as well. They better not tilt, topple, or turn these vehicles. Spyro, ooh, there it is. 80's gone down. There's the first loss for FaZe. That is very unfortunate. It looked like they tried to dip away from Tornado Energy, who are on the top side of the ridge, but it opened up opportunity for Northern Lights, who are on the lower end.
This circle is absolute death. This is a disaster. okay, you're going to get a few teams that might go towards the north and come in from the west, but ultimately right now, we kind of know where the end game's going to be. WS are actually smack bang in the middle of it. You've got N, Shift W, Sauna Boys, Pink Ponies on the edge of it. Like, getting into the final stage of this circle is going to be treacherous. Remember, a few minutes ago, I was speaking about where you find your feet. You might stay to the end game. Well, ultimately, for anyone who's been this side of the map, is in an absolutely fantastic position now. This is just incredible that it's gone this way. I say incredible from a spectator point of view. It's going to be madness to watch unfold, but for the players, this is absolute hell.
It's not happening again, is it, Rich? DA, Liquid, right next to each other. These guys have such a mirrored style. It looks like DA has the drop onto Liquid this time. The first nades go in. Didn't find the damage they were probably intending with it. A second to follow, but now fire from the Wanderer. If they overpeak these ridges, they're going to be punished, and now you're kind of caught with the attention of Liquid and everyone else in the lobby. You're playing a dangerous game, DA. You better have a plan for it.
Still can't get over this. Oh my word, what a horrible hard shift. It's going to force people into the point where whatever they have, they'll have to stick it out, because you could get a few people towards the latter stages just hitting this and full-blown DA in it. No matter what you do, like, you'll have nowhere else to go but try and get towards the middle side. And with everybody already in place, landlocked, I kind of worry. I was about to say more towards the western side. Northern Lights haven't moved yet. They've been very, very slow. If Na'Vi realizes this, maybe they get the drop. You can see Perfectix is now heading off to try and get ahead in some sort of position. Spyro is well out of position. He is unresable at this stage if he goes down to Na'Vi, and when Orange has an AWM. Oh, yeah. No, the vehicle up the hill slow as well. This is just info.
Is he going up towards? Yep, there's the first tag. Spyro's going to probably dip down towards the lower side of the compound, yep. But you're in a bad spot here, Spyro. See if you can get out of there alive. Perfectix tried to help him out, and he gets an arm to the face for it. That's what you get for trying to help your teammate. Perfectix on the knees now, and again, Resable? Don't think so. Batulans, Northern Lights are in a really bad spot here, honestly. Now, they could fight their way out of it, but Na'Vi have every single aspect of this wrapped up for now. Besto's coming back, Tab's coming back. They already had the better angles, and that was only with 2 of them present. Keep in mind, Northern Lights is still in that blue. Everyone on the other side of that line still is. This is chunky, too. It's going to start stinging a little. It will speed up the process, and Northern Lights can be left in here. Now, Spyro has found Orange. Tried to get a little thirsty, a little hungry for that flush towards Perfectix, and Spyro with a quick denied. How dare you go near my teammate? Keeps him away, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to get a step closer. Na'Vi, I think they're backing from this.
They've left Senyu behind, whether or not he's just kind of baiting the vehicle, but as you mentioned, maybe they just go set up elsewhere, Lauren. It's with the blue coming in 20 seconds, they have to be forced to get this res. It'll put them out of position and put them out of place. Na'Vi, actually, are Na'Vi getting vehicles to wrap on them? Are they just moving into a better angle to take them out within the blue? That would be a devastating blow. That could be your #1 team, same back-to-back, going down in 16th position. We'll keep an eye on the kill feed and see how that unfolds. Team Liquid have moved forward, an edge forward, I want to say. It's not really much far you can go much further than this one. Again, we kind of anticipated where the circle may be ending at this point. I hope the Northern Lights have a hell of a lot of meds, because they are going to have to wrap heavily to avoid the onslaught of Na'Vi, but I have seen the tab has gone much deeper and is already opening up onto the rest of them. They do try to come down from this one. They are already tanked up. They're already damaged. If they don't have first aids at this time in the game, I do fear for them.
Oh, dearie me. This whole lobby has just gotten terrifying. Okay, so it looks like Northern Lights have gone deep enough that Na'Vi no longer want to chase that. They don't want to stick around because, again, it does dwindle their chances, of course. Code Marco gonna see Omakan coming in. Oh my god, and it's Omakan. All teams. These guys are just nasty to fight against. True brawlers in the way they approach the game. They don't lose fights often. Now, it's Vasco and Jemty pulling up T-Bone and Paige on Overwatch. T-Bone's probably getting to get to a vehicle if he has one and pull up fast. If they know they're in trouble and they need this fight, which I feel as though they're going to, because they're going to be in between a rock and a hard place. It looks like there's teams around. You've got the Pink Ponies who are in a bit of a ditch, so they can't really provide much fire, but maybe the bystanders could. So you don't want to mess around with this too long. DA, half of their team are not in currently, so they will need to move around eventually.
Just to bring you up to speed where your top 4 are currently sitting. Northern Lights is still in the blue, just coming past Junkyard. Bystanders will be rather close to them. We'll hold for a second
DA,
because
here we go.
Mitrelius has just fallen. Mert initially should have connected with that one. Does follow up at least. Needs to make sure you don't give Jimpty any room to breathe.
God.
Otherwise, he's going to come back with a vengeance. They all have. The instant switch is there. Good tags onto one, but the damage has already been done. Smash is here to try and follow up with this one. With 2 down on the side of Omicron, it comes down to him and Code Marco to try and hold the line. T-Bone is all tanked up. Page is in the blue as well. Omicron chomping at the bit to try and do a fair amount of damage here, but my word, it's been punishing for both sides here.
It is. Smash is going to be maybe seen above that smoke, or did he see it with that elevated position? I'm not too sure. Page tries to get prone, helps him out. Code Marco has kept them in this, by the way. Code Marco did very well here. Now, bear in mind, DA took a bit of a beating. They did lose out on Mitralius there, but Code Marco is worth his weight in gold as the bystanders definitely want to capitalize on this. I thought it might be to the detriment of Omicron, but they've already fallen foul. So now it's down to Short, playing it patiently, letting the others take first contact, and him going to be the surprise element here. Hearing Mert, maybe hearing a stim. Not too sure, just heard enough. Code Marco on the trade again. This guy won't relent. Yes, it's only 1 kill so far, but he's been getting the knocks, keeping them pressured, ever present in all of these fights that they're having so far. But the nade, does it curve just right? Oh, they are lucky to be standing.
Shots are coming in from a distant place. That's rather problematic. Instantly on his feet with very little health, just gets cracked on with it. I'm absolutely fine with that one smash. That could have been better. It does force him back. I mean, we could say it's area denial for now. We'll kind of flow with it. The flashbangs are going up. Does that mean it's time to push? He's getting aggro, though, and I'm kind of okay with that. Gets stuck
it's so
in.
Good.
1, 2, thank you. Marco with the 3rd. Oh, my God. Absolutely backhands the bystanders, and DA somehow stays alive.
I don't know how they've done it, Rich. They are barely standing. Code Marco, again, give that man a bonus. Give him a pat on the back. Give him something. Because he just kept DA alive. Without him, they'd be done for. No 2 ways about it. Now, a scrappy battle between Redline and the Sauna boys over here. Having a little bit of a back and forth, but it looks like Redline are coming out on top of this. That's over towards the east. TSM might get a little curious and see if they can get a line of sight towards it. But for now, that's beyond the point. We look at Ents, we look at Na'Vi, Northern Lights, Liquid. They're all clashing. Phase towards Tornado Energy. Now, that's a fight we have to pay attention to as well towards the north. Melman's further out, but Alia, a little isolated. Dealing with Shift W, sure. But that has garnered the attention, attracted the FaZe clan over. And FaZe still need a lot more points if they want to have one of those days.
Well, they're committing, unfortunately, to the back of the oil cylinders, but the rest of Shift W is still here. This will allow FaZe Clan to step further forward. Redline have been beaten, battered, bruised. A good nade came in from Anonymous earlier on, I saw it in the kill feed, which took down 2 of them. The assault will continue. With Anonymous the last man standing, really, there's nothing else to do but to try and fight this. Marv will attempt the wrap to at least maybe alleviate some pressure while sticking the res. If he just beats all of them down, he single-handedly demolished Redline. Fex comes in, puts Marv out of his misery, and all of a sudden Anonymous can carry on. He should have at least that position noted. TSM, he'll have something.
Oh, off string.
Well,
off
it's not
string,
TSM,
let
it'll
him
be WF.
live. He's heard it. Oh dear, if Offstring died then, that would have been a bit of a meme. However, I want to look at this circle very briefly, because Liquid moved up to center point. You see them in the kind of lower end of this compound? They just moved into it. They shuffled away from that Ents, Northern Lights, Na'Vi side, and they actually got in here unscathed, which is baffling to me. FaZe playing a little quiet here. They did lose out on their player earlier on. 8C obviously had a couple issues. Gustav just easy now. That's a big drop, buddy. Careful, your knee's gonna crack. But Shift W are on the receiving end. Way too many bullets hit. Oh, Uber, 1 HP, but let's keep it calm. They cannot be dealing with more and more players going down. They need, I'd say 3 going in, because they need kills. It's not just placement for FaZe, it's not consistency. They have to shine in this. And Shift W, well, similar-ish position. They're above FaZe right now, so if they went down, that would have been an issue all in itself. But now is going to be keeping them back. Oh, Melman. Nabbed by Uber. Just going to steal away that point, pop it in the pocket of FaZe. Very happy with that. Tornado Energy on the ropes this round.
If this circle was essentially a castle, Liquid and ETG would be sitting in it, and everyone else just had to scramble in the moat, because this is going to be awful. Those compounds are so damn strong now. Fortified in, you can just bunker down and wait for the circle to come your way. Credit where it's due to Team Liquid. They've been getting quite a lot of ground, slowly but surely, to work it into that position. There has to be something, you know, to be said for ETG not going after them, not being proactive to keep them at bay. They are a quieter team. and they do like to sit back now and again. So they've not had much of a challenge to get into that position, but still, it's ballsy at this stage to be moving deeper in a circle like this when it is rather exposed. But now it pays off. Everyone else will have to do the death run. Everyone else will have to try and find something and fight over it. The circle will force all these players in. Where that is in, I do not know, because the land is going to be rife. The land is going to be absolutely awful.
Right. FaZe did leapfrog Na'Vi, Ensign Co, but they did lose Fuzzface for it. So it feels like everything here you have to pay a toll of some kind. Tornado Energy tried to play a little bit safer, move towards the north. Well, you played with 3 of your teammates and only 1 kill. That's them gone. Not a good game from Tornado Energy. Options now become available to maybe Liquid even further. If they have a good game here, Rich, this could be a big moment for them to move up that board. However, for now, FaZe still trying to fight the good fight for themselves, but you can see the nade came through towards Uber. He's down, so just Gustav now alive. FaZe unable to find much. They're running into teams left, right, and center. No rest for the wicked as Tab pours in bullets. Gustav on the hunt, spots one. That's going to be the barrel all day long. Perfect range. Bounces the last one. Couldn't quite get that second player. Senya lives, barely breathing, but still alive.
Sprexco put FaZe Clan in the grave. Rather unfortunate for them. The Northern Lights will continue onwards. Ends limited amount of land to be playing with. Once the circle's here, they do have to remove themselves from this bit of cover that they've got. Circle's here, so now it's time to go. They have vehicles, which is a damn sight more than what Northern Lights have. They could wrap ever so slightly, but then you're going to be exposed to Na'Vi. Again, with this lay of the land, it's awful. Potentially, they may have to just force themselves into taking this fight. Rotational deaths will come in. Vampire very, very damaged up, and it's just another kill in the hands of DA. Easy point comes through. Archie just lays on the floor and hopes for the circle to come their way. Liquid, ETG, easy for them. We said they were going to be fortified.
Wait, hold on. Rich, where do Northern Lights go here?
This is the same for everyone. Everyone could potentially just die. If they don't have vehicles, they will get mowed down in the field.
All right, well, yeah, East Side already going to be having a couple of those issues. TSM have moved in and shoved out Offstring. WS are down to just 2, I believe, at that previous point, so they were working with what they got. Ents decided to move away from Northern Lights. They've gone towards the north, which puts them in towards the realms of Na'Vi. Besto and Senya, the only 2 alive, but they did garner a good second place before, and a quick shot from Besto, showing how good he can be when he finds that form, but now flashed up, has to take a second. More damage comes in, the barrel's still in play, and he's still fragging. He's gotten 2 here, but there needs to be more done. Senya might have to just run in there, try and do damage as he can, but this is a desperate scenario. Maybe a point grab? That's what he's eyeing up. Couple of bullets. Oh, he just about gets one. Rustamar gets that, but the other in cover, and still leaving Diggory on watchful duty. And Diggory had a good couple of weekends. We've seen him at his finest, but they push forward, and they push forward well. Ends keep it calm under pressure and move into it. Na'Vi don't seem too flustered, seem okay with that, understanding the scenario they were in. But now we look at this circle. I was questioning, where did Northern Lights go? Well, they sent Lou to look for it.
If somehow ETG die here by not being proactive and letting people get to the walls, like, that is just a huge, huge misplay. Shift W is now smoking up the door so they can make some kind of approach. Vex is looking for this last player, or any just remnants of what's going to be lingering. TSM, they're not that stupid. They're going to check and clear every single corner. Up into the top 8, all the utility will be committed by Ents. Northern Lights do have to move. You have mentioned it. I've already seen Liquid just magnetized towards their position. You can see them dying in the kill feed.
Oof. Yeah, Clib got first contact. It's a player you'd love to have front lines. Good bit of utility between these two, but I'm not too fussed. I like to look towards the top. And I was questioning that fight with Northern Lights. Could they actually make it in with it? Petulins was still alive, and now he's fallen. Nice work from Diggory. Really well done. Big spray, big pickup of points. Shift W, down. Now, Liquid have taken over the biggest kind of opposition, at least for now, in front of them. They took down the vast majority of the Northern Lights. Now, DA have had a rough game. It has not been pretty, but Code Marco had bailed them out. But look at the high ground as TSM sweeping across. Miraku here with a nice little flash underhand. Sends that through, splashes in all kinds of ways. Miraku sees him, puts him to bed, tucks him in. Code Marco now hold. Oh my god, it's Code Marco again. How many times can he save them? How many times?
He's done them all!
We said it, Rich. We said it. If this man comes online, DA becomes the scariest team. This was a pickup of firepower, and you've just seen it come through in just droves. That man is on one today. I don't care what you make of DA. I could not give a damn. These boys deserve some incredible amounts of respect. But let's look at that circle. Liquid have 4 still alive. They dealt with that Northern Lights push that came through. This was it. You could see them pouring down the hillside, having to run the gauntlet. Clib there waiting, so perfectly placed with that 3 times on the barrel, controlling it like it's easy. But in the north, Ents in dire straits. ETG having to move in, and then waiting on the other side will be Liquid. But the issue then becomes, Rich, timing could favor a little sneaky maneuver from DA. They could shuffle in potentially and just keep their heads down low. Maybe force that fight between Ents, ETG, and Liquid. But again, I don't know how these guys have anything left. Surely they're battered and broken. 6 kills just for Code Marco, 10 for the rest of DA.
They could have a challenger approaching. Slowly, we do see Ents just moving in the dried up riverbed, and this basically will lead directly behind them and into DA. I think Team Liquid just kind of focused themselves toward ETG. ETG have just been way too passive. They've just stood still for far too long, and now they are just in panic mode. What do you do here? Well, you get vehicles drive and then ultimately die. That's rather unfortunate, but it is good for Ents. They'll pick up a free frag. Happy days on that one. Thunderlost loses half his health, but he is still here. Quepta falls down at the wayside. The low ball nades will go in. The flashbang's there as well. They'll clean this one up. They'll take the frag. Should be a GG for ETG, but there is a response. Thunderlust, but now may get a little bit bloodlust. No, he falls back.
DA are peppering bullets in. Digweed's just found Mexi! Oh dear, Liquid might have just fumbled this. They need to get rid of Thunderlust now. Go Marco, are you kidding me? What? They're actually doing this, Rich. They're doing the dirty. They've seen Liquid just fumble for a second. A lack of a clean pickup. A quick kill is what they needed, and it's just slipped between the fingertips. And now suddenly, DA and Ents have the upper hand. I cannot believe this.
The panic play from ETG has just thrown Liquid into a position where they've had to deal with it, expose themselves, and then because there's so many just strewn players on the battlefield, they've been exposed, they've been open. This would be a huge res from Jimbo if he can get Mexi on his feet.
Yes.
It's very problematic with how, you know, the circle has gone away from them. The upper hand has been with them all game. This compound has been the place to be. And now all of a sudden it's turned into a 2-2 split on a very triangulated angle. I don't think they can get out of this. I cannot fathom in my mind how DA is alive. Like, well, I can. It comes down to Code Marco, but my God. What in the world has he been eating today? That is a freakish performance.
He's got 3'd up gear. He's got plenty of smokes. They've just been pilfering all those bodies that he's left strewn across the battlefield. This could be another. Peppering in shots. They're safe from Ents. They're safe from Liquid to some degree. They've got that side of the circle. This could be another. It is 13 kills. This is a monstrous performance. I thought they were done for after that first exchange. I thought, well, maybe not. All right, maybe. 2v2v2. That's what it comes down to. Ents high ground. DA playing a game that I have not expected, but Ents are creeping in. They've seen this. They've heard it. Did Code Marco see it too, though? Hold on. Code Marco's looking that way. That could have been a really good bit of a call from him there. Okay, let's disengage. And that's exactly what's happened. His awareness, those spidey senses were tingling. He went, hold on. Where have Ents gone? They are not peppering in shots. They've gone quiet for a second. Let me turn my attention. Great timing. Still aware, though. But look at the other side of the coin, Rich. Liquid, broken vest. No smokes. Their gear is looking real rough here.
DA and Liquid, though, are in the same position now in the fact that eventually they will have to move. Once they do, it's completely exposed. DA are going to go after Ents. Ents have been smart and been proactive to take a deeper angle into the circle. They can hold all oncomers back, but the question is, can they hold two teams?
Oh. There was a little bit of argy-bargy then between Ents and DA. The Finns, the Turkish princes who are on the come-up, but it is the Finns this time. Squeaky, precise, but Mert's on the low ground. He's already moving up. Code Marco's already considering this. It's SLRs, it's the M4s on the other side. It might be a time for a mini-switch here, bud. This is ambitious with that red dot on the side, but fairly even ground between these two. Mert going to adjust further. Looks towards that lower side of things, a bit closer to the center point. Diggory's already on the low ground as well, mirroring each other here. This is lovely play between the two. Experienced teams now. Diggory still on the low ground. Mert, he just saw it. He just caught a glimpse.
flashbangs will come through to try and
Oh
avert
my
his
bloody
gaze.
God!
Marco again, one. If he gets the second, this would just be an unbelievable performance. Oh my God, he does. That is
Oh.
absolutely ridiculous.